Hi, I'm Scott Goss. This is my project Wind Farm in Peekskill, New York. Wind Farm is a series of 5 pinwheels, larger than life, about 5.5 feet in diameter. They're derived from more of a kind of a play or humus approach to taking a kind of a, how would I call it, a front yard version of the pinwheel and upsizing it a bit. The title is derived in the sense that they are essentially 5 wind turbines. They're small versions of that. They collect energy as the wind blows, and it's recording and collecting that energy in a battery that's stored in there. In the evening, those lights will turn on, and they'll be kind of color controlled by the city. You know, after just driving in from the Bear Mountain State Park, it's really kind of nice to kind of see the landscape and the swerving of the roads, the mountains, and the water. And in a lot of ways, I think the colors and the reflection of the steel kind of blend itself into the landscape. And certainly when driving up or walking up the Central Avenue walkway, right when you come around underneath the bridge and as your way up, it's one of the first things you see from far away. All my projects, I want them to be curious. I want them to kind of look, and I want each experience to be different from the last, right? So they do move, they do have different colors, those colors can change. And sometimes I might be facing the viewer, sometimes based on the direction of the wind, they might be facing the opposite way. It'll force them to enter into this little park to explore, kind of gain more perspective of the city. All my projects are kind of based on curiosity. I've had projects, I'm from Ohio, I have a number there. I got a couple projects in DC as well too. And everything is always more participatory in some capacity. This one is a little bit more, you're not touching it, but it is kind of get you to get up and walk around and explore it a little bit more. I've done a number of illuminated projects where pieces light up. And then I've also exhibited in a number of galleries and museums. I have other more, I call it gallery-based work that's in museums across the country. For the sake that they're wind turbines, obviously we want something that's windy. I've also put or hidden a solar panel on the top. So on a day like today, we'll still be able to record that energy and store it and be able to still light up at night. That's the one positive piece about this project, is it's fully sustainable. It's not connected to the power grid at all. The downside of that is that we need either wind or solar sunlight to be able to power it. If it doesn't happen that day, which we can imagine some of those January days as being that way, then it will just light up the next day, the next time we get that energy. There's certainly some land art projects. They're more on the out west. There's a mirrored house. Some of the ones that are kind of more built into the landscape. I'd be curious to see how the piece transforms, maybe through different seasons. We're standing here with the bright green background, nice backdrop to there. How is that going to look like in the fall and the winter? In the winter, it could be like this kind of, during the daytime, maybe it's kind of more camouflaged in there, but at night it can kind of create this light and this beacon. And so in a lot of ways, viewing it at night is probably the prime focal point. It is intended to be an illuminated sculpture. And so what ends up happening is that we kind of wait all day for that light to turn on, and then the experience happens then. I would say, like, what's probably less known to me is also an assistant professor in art college. What I believe I felt like when I went to college was that I wanted to be an artist and draw and to make things, and that's not really what art is. Art is really more problem solving. It's developing your own ideas and coming up with the solutions for those ideas. The skill set of being able to draw doesn't necessarily relate to creativity. Creativity is that problem solving. And so it's the acceptance of that. And then the other thing is that, like in a lot of professions, it's really hard work, right? And it's one of those careers where you only become successful most likely 10, 15, 20 years later into your career.